everyone, and welcome to Discovering You with your host, Wanda. Well, the time is here. The perspective from married couples. You know, what did they look for? What did they do, or what did they require? What were their deal breakers? What was it? You know, what made you pick the woman you picked? What made you pick the man you picked? Okay, so like I said, I would first like to always give honor to the Almighty God for allowing him to use me on today. So I'm going to get right into it. I'm just trying to figure out, for me, from my perspective, I'm a word keeper. I believe in the Word of God, the Bible. I believe that. And the Bible says that a man who finds a wife, he finds a good thing and obtains favor from the Lord. So when I think about that verse, and I know everybody is not saved. Some people, they don't go for that. They don't go by that. Me, Miss Wanda, honestly, if it's in the Word, I believe it. So for the question, why would a woman even ask herself this question? I could think of a couple of reasons for a woman to basically say, why won't he marry me? You know, that kind of insinuates, is there something wrong with me? What am I not doing? Is it the way I look? Is it my weight? Is it my skin? Is my hair too short? Is my hair too long? Is my skin too dark? Is my skin too light? Do I have too many kids? Do I not have any kids? Do I not have the right credit score? Do I not live in the right neighborhood? I mean, if you're going to start asking yourself why, people will give you a whole lot of reasons why you, in their opinion, are inadequate or you don't measure up. First off, I would take it all the way back. So when I took it all the way back, the question I would ask is, are you whole? Are you whole? Because there is nothing wrong, in my opinion. And don't get me wrong, you all of this is just simply my perspective. And, you know, I can back up what I'm saying through the Word of God. I mean, that's my thing. So for me, I would say, and I just keep it like I would tell my daughters and granddaughters and, you know, friends or goddaughters, I'm not going to deviate away from what the Word of God says, but I would break it down to layman's terms to where they could understand it. So basically, when I ask the question, are you whole? Or what does that mean to you? I feel like before any woman or man even thinks about getting married, you need to do a self evaluation. You need to see where you are, if there are any deficits within you. And when I say that, I mean, what are your insecurities? How do you feel about yourself? Do you need validation from another person in order to, make you feel good about you? Why do you want a husband? Why do you want one? Is it because everybody's getting married and all of your friends have gotten married and you're the last one? Or, what's your real reason? Because marriage, is a gift. It's a gift from God. And the Bible says that Paul explains it in there, and he talks about the gift. Even being single is a gift. Paul talks about it, and he says that God did not give everyone the gift of being married. And I was like, well, why not? Because there, as a believer, when we convert and give our lives to Christ, we then, at that moment, we sign up basically to be used in any way that the Lord deems necessary. And if you are married, some people now, because he uses a lot of married couples. I'm just trying to explain the difference between a single person that have anyone to, be held accountable to. They don't have to be at home at a certain time. Basically, they can do what they want. And God will be able to use them as he saw fit. Now, you could take that same person, and if they have a kid or they have a spouse, they may not, and this is just my, opinion, they may not be able to go, or be in places or do certain things, because when you have a family, you are kind of limited. You're limited, your time is limited, where you can go, what you can do, all of that stuff is limited. So, I'm not saying marriage is a good thing. It can be a good thing. So, but it's not for everyone. So we need to check and pray and ask God, am I even supposed to be married? Is that your will for me? Because I don't want nothing that God don't have for me. If he don't want it for me, I don't want it, because I'm not going to be happy with it. So I guess my show, I won't say it's geared only to believers, because I'm hoping at some point, if you are not a believer, when you continue to listen and watch the podcast, hopefully, something will happen. God will intervene and you'll change your heart and change your mind. Okay? So I'm going to move on. The next question I was going to ask her was, how important is it to be spiritually, mentally, emotionally, and physically healthy? I would say just about as important as it is to breathe. Your spiritual health your mental health, your emotional health, and your physical health all play a big part in relationships. Because if you're spiritually weak, that could really be a problem. If you're mentally exhausted or overwhelmed, that's going to cause issues. If your emotions are all over the place, and when I say this stuff, mainly, now I'm not going to say all women, but because some men, they can be just as emotionally unstable and mentally unstable as most of us women. I always laugh about it and say, okay, we have menopause and kids. That's why we can't, that's why, we be acting up sometimes, but it is important. And then when I thought about these questions, of course, I had to look at myself. I always do. And I said, Wanda, where are you spiritually? Well, spiritually, I'm in touch with God every single day, several times a day. Now, that don't mean nothing, because people can do all of that. But I'm serious. That's my lifestyle. Now, mentally, oh, Lord, I'm getting it together. Now, I'm not crazy. I'm just saying, I'm in the age group to where menopause done hit, and I be up and down, and sometimes all around. But, for the most part, I'm saying these things, that we need to be spiritually aware of where we are. We need to be mentally aware of where we are. And we need to be emotionally aware of where we are. I mean, we need to take a look at where we are emotionally. Now, for me, I know sometimes my emotions, I have to reel it back. It depends on what's happened, what's going on, who it is, but the Bible also says that a double-minded person is unstable in all their ways. So I had to learn how to make a decision and stick with it. You can't be all over the place. And, I learned too that it's also very important to take care of your physical health. And for me, I will work. And if I'm feeling some type of way, I'd be like, oh, okay, I'll be fine. I don't need to go to the doctor. I gotta go to work. Okay, no. We need to be very conscious of our spiritual, mental, emotional, and physical health. We need that, because what I've learned is whatever you're dealing with, your past, present, or, your aspirations for the future, what I found out is we tend to make these lists, or, either write them down or mentally. We have these lists, and we know exactly what we want. He need a job. He need a place. He need this. He need his own car. He need his credit need to be good. We got a whole list of stuff that he needs. Okay? But where's your list about what you need? See, I used to tell my kids, especially my daughters, don't be no nickel running around out here looking for a dime, because you're not going to find it. You can't want a guy to have all of these things that's coming down your list. But what are you bringing? What do you have to offer? Now, I'm going to tell you, ladies, I talked to some guys, and I was like, when you decide, or just say you're dating someone, what is your system for knowing if that relationship is going to continue, or if she just somebody you know it's a one-nighter? So I'm going to tell y'all what was said. So I wrote it down. First thing I was told was that they want someone, well, I'm going to say this person said that it was important for them to be with a woman who was loyal. Loyal. So I said, okay, loyalty. What does that look like for you? And he said to me, if a woman would go and sleep with a guy on the first date, he said he automatically knows he don't want her. He would not marry her. And I'm like, well, why? Because it take two now. Now, how you gonna not want her, but you took the cookie? He said, I'll take the cookie. I'm gonna take it, but I ain't gonna marry her, because if she's not a virgin, this is not her first time doing this, and if she'll do it with me, think about how many other people she done did this with. So I'm like, oh, okay. I still feel like that's a little bit unfair, but I'm just telling y'all from a male's perspective what they be thinking. So number two, he said he does observations. So I'm like, okay, what kind of observation? He said, I'm a guy. And guys, most guys, they're not going to be as clean as women. He said he get that. He said a guy, his place is going to look like a guy. He said, but if I go to her place and her place look worse than my place and I'm a guy, I already know I ain't marrying her. And I'm like, whoa, y'all got a lot of double standards. Because see, for me, why you don't keep your place clean too? But he just like, no, if she's not, he said, also with observation, y'all, he said, I'm going to watch how she treat her family. I'm going to watch how if she have kids, I'm going to watch how she treat her kids, her friends. I'm going to watch her interaction. I'm going to see, how she loves, if she's a caring person. He said, I'm just going to watch her. I'm going to watch how she moves. So, okay, y'all remember that. Then, number three, child, I almost fell out. He said, I want to know how she handles money. He said, I want to know how she handles money. Is she a saver? Is she a spender? Is she impulsive? Does she, like keeping up with the neighbors? Does she have to have everything her friends get? he said he watched how she handles her money. Okay. Next one, y'all, he said sex. So I said, well, what do you mean? Does it have to be a certain way? And he was like, really? I'm checking to see her, I guess a better tasteful word would be her libido. He wants to know if she's really active, if it really doesn't matter to her, if she could take it or leave it, or if she, off the charts or whatever. Man, he said they look at that. And if it's not matching, I guess their libido or their drive, they don't want to fool with you. And he told me, even if they do marry you, they will cheat. If it's not lining up or matching up to their drive, he said that counts too. Next thing he said was communication. He want to know if you're a yeller, a cursor, a screamer. Can you listen? Can you be respectful? Do you have the ability to look at the other person's perspective, or are you just closed-minded? It has to be your way. He said he looks at that. He also said he looks at how you feel about yourself. So I'm like, okay, dude, what do you mean? He said, I would not marry a woman who was insecure. And I'm like, what you mean by that? He was like, if she need me to make her happy, basically, if I'm the one that has to dictate her moves, I ain't got time for that. That's too much. She need to already be happy all by herself. And really, in this instance, he was very right. Because ladies, you cannot give anyone the power to dictate or control your mood. Because if it takes a man to make you happy, that same man, he has the same power to make you sad. So for me, I'm not giving you that type of power. And what I mean by that is, it goes back to the first question that I asked when we were on here. Are you whole? Don't go around here getting in no relationships with anybody and you are not whole. And what I mean by that is, when you're whole, you need nothing from anyone else outside of you and God. If you need somebody to tell you you cute, you're not whole. If you need someone else to tell you your body is banging, you're not whole. If you need somebody else to tell you what you need to wear, what you need to take off, where you need to go, what you need to, if you need all of these things to feel good about you, or to feel like someone is attracted to you, no, you're not ready. You're not ready to be in a relationship. And I'll tell you what, back in 2008, I want to say 2007, 2008, I had been married about 30 years or more. I forgot really how long it was. And I knew that I had gone through a lot in that marriage. I was very young when I got married, didn't know anything about what I was doing or what it really meant. But I'm telling you, it taught me. And walking away from it, I realized that I had trauma. I had triggers that I needed to deal with. Because in my mind, it's really crazy to hop from one relationship right on into another relationship when you have not dealt with what happened in the previous one. Because you cannot keep jumping up talking about it's him, he a cheater, he a liar, he a this and he a that. Okay, I'm not disputing that that could be the case. But have you ever stopped to ask you, why are you dealing with that? Obviously, if he's this and he's that and he's this and he's that, was any of that on your list? No. So why would you deal with that? Are you desperate? I know rejection hurts, but I had to start looking at it like this, ladies. And maybe y'all need to look at it this way too. When someone rejects you, basically let you know you ain't doing it. You ain't it for me. I'm not attracted to you. We can kick it, but that's all this is for me. I would really take that as God protecting me. Because if they doing all of that now, never be an option for anybody. If you can't be a priority or number one or up in there like that, you're going to spend the rest of that relationship running behind him, crying, why you doing me like this? You'll never spend no time. Well, he showed you that at first. Ladies, we have to stop turning things around. Listen to what a guy is telling you. If you got to go to putting yourself off on him and you got to make the dates and you got to make the suggestions, you're going to always be doing that. You have to sit back, get yourself together, figure out what you are worth. Figure out your worth. Because, ladies, it's a big difference. There is a difference between worth and value. It's a difference. And if a person doesn't know your worth, they're not going to value you. Now, that don't mean it's you. You could be. Your value may be a little expensive. You might be too much for them. They can't pay for you. They can't pay. And I'm not saying physically. I'm talking about your worth. But if you don't know your worth, you don't know your value, how do you think somebody else is? And you won't know it until you actually begin to do the work on yourself. What you're going to have to do, ladies, dissect you. You're going to have to dissect. You have to take it all the way back. Because honestly, if you do get married, I want it to be forever. I want you to be happy. I don't want you running around. Oh, is he cheating on me? Oh, he's not doing this and he's not doing that. No, go ahead and get you some counseling. Nothing wrong with counseling. Do that, see where you are. These people ain't got to lie on you. After they do these evaluations, you have a couple of sessions, they're going to assess where you are, okay? And don't be thinking these folk lying. Whatever they telling you, there's probably an area you need to deal with. But it's not something you should do alone. You need to have someone that will hold you accountable. Because see, all of us have patterns. Men have them, but we do too. And we get to the point to where if he don't line up with what I think, he ain't the one for me. How about, it's called compromise. That's what it's called. No one, marriage is partnership. It's not he run me, I run him. It's not that. It's a partnership. So no one runs anybody. You know, everything we do, we're supposed to do it together. Let me go on, and I want to think about, you know, figuring out how to love you. I ain't talking about going around here altering yourself, although if that's what makes you feel good, I don't have a problem with it. But I'm just saying, wholeness to me is from the inside out. Looking for that validation anywhere from anybody other than God and yourself, that could be real dangerous, because that's giving people too much power over you. And, you know, when I think about another thing, I think about vetting. A lot of us, we don't vet. We go off, oh, he cute. He got a job. He don't live with his mama. Boom. We don't check out nothing else. You have to vet people. It is a lot of disturbed, challenged people in this world. And you say to yourself, how come I always end up with all these crazy people? Why do I always get these guys that, you know, want to use me and really, you know, want to cheat and can't be consistent and, you know, all of this type of stuff? Well, it's your vetting system, baby. Are you vetting? Well, let me go ahead and break that down. Now, vetting is basically, like my daughter called it, investigate. So I was telling her about it, and we were talking last night, and I told her, I said, you know what we do is, most women, they don't vet. If he check off a couple of things that they like, if that body is all muscular and he fine, oh yeah, that's on the list. You know, if he don't drink, if he don't smoke, if he, you know, ain't got no criminal record, oh, that's all some people need. But baby, it goes deeper than that. Remember what I said in the beginning? We want to check and make sure that they are spiritually, mentally, emotionally, and physically healthy. So the first thing is, what's your relationship with God? That's your first thing. Don't be thinking you're going to get him and then, you're going to start him to going to church. He'll go after a while, but right now, he ain't got to go. You all right with it. Now, if you know you love God and you want a husband to be sitting up in that church right with you, loving God and wanting the same things that you want, if he ain't already doing it and don't have a desire to get with it, no, I don't care who you are and what you think you know. You can't change nobody. You can't change them. Okay, another thing in vetting. How does he act when he's upset? Do he punch the wall? Does he become abusive? Does he have tantrums? Does he throw stuff? What he do? How he look when he get mad? Do he want to tear up the whole house? Is he a yeller, a screamer? Does he get physical? You need to know this stuff. You need to know this. You need to know how he is when he's mad. You need to know how he is when he's sad. Honey, do you go all the way down into the lowest depressive state? Like, how are you when you're sad? Like, you need to know this stuff. How are you when you're broke? When it's the worst of times for you? Do you keep on pushing? Do you try harder or do you fall apart? And do you blame the man on the reason this and the reason that? You need to find this stuff out. Are you consistent? Will you keep a job? How do you feel about paying bills? How do you feel about raising kids? Do you want kids? How do you feel about someone who already has a child or children? Y'all need to ask all of this stuff. Ask it all. That will save you a whole bunch of time because he could be fine. He can look good. But if he don't love Jesus, if he don't really like kids, if he can't really keep no job, if he spaz out every time things don't go his way, don't you want to know all of this beforehand, before you run and jump and get married because all of your friends are married? Someone was telling me the other day, like it's almost an epidemic that guys are getting out of prison. And nothing to say, against that. I have a brother that's in prison. But these guys are getting out of prison. These women are so desperate to be married. They're buying their own wedding rings and marrying these guys. These guys get out. Really, what they do, they go down to the jail and they marry them. And they wait on them to get out. They're basically supporting them while they're in jail. And when they get out, they thinking he gonna come on home and we're gonna be a big happy family and he gonna help me raise these kids. And homeboy ain't studying that. He been locked up. He not trying to come and play house with you. He don't care if he have married you. You're not going to see him. So what we should really do is vet people. Now, I'm not saying that just because a brother has been locked up, he ain't no good. Leave him alone. No, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying vet them, everybody. Men do the same thing. I'm not just going to cop on the brothers, because it's some females, they ain't got no business married. I did a video the other day. I didn't post it, but it was going to be, I got married, but I can't cook. Now, I understand that, because when I got married, I couldn't cook. But guess what I figured out? If you have some kids and you have a man, you need to know how to make something. You cannot keep eating out every day. You cannot keep going to your mama house, his mama house, your friend house, all these folk house. You need to get on up in there and learn how to make something for your family. It's not just you anymore. And a lot of women get married and they want the man to just, they know what his job is. Pay these bills, do this, do that, give me this, give me that. But when it comes to their job, oh, I work. Okay, you work, but laundry still needs to be done. Kids need to be fed. House need to be cleaned up. And I'm a woman. I'm always gonna set the tone for my house. I don't need nobody around up in here talking about how things gonna be. I already got in order. Just follow it. Okay? So men like women who are about their business too. They want women who are about their business, you know, not gonna sit around and wait for them or wait on them. Now, I'm gonna tell you something. Don't get it twisted. It's a good thing to have a good man. It's good. But if it's not going to add to you, you know, add to your happiness, add to your quality of life. And the only reason, or the only way that this will be able to happen is it needs to be ordained by God. God needs to give you the okay for that man or for that woman. If God don't do that, that's just, it's like a box of chocolates. You don't never know what you're going to get, especially if you don't vet. So that's one of the most important things I would say. He's not going to marry a woman who is all over the place. I don't care how good you look. I don't care how fine you are. That is just what that is. Looks fade. Child, you know we ain't gonna be cute the rest of our life. We gonna get older, things get wrinkled. Child, I be seeing wrinkles. I'm like, Lord have mercy. For real? No, them wrinkles are coming. We're going to age. That's why you never want to marry somebody based on superficial things, like how much money they got, where they work, stuff like that, looks and all of that. That's not a good reason. Now, God ain't crazy. You can't tell him, God, I don't want no jacked up looking person. You can tell he gonna give you what's suitable for you. And I promise you, if you let the Lord do the work, you gonna love it. You gonna love him, you gonna love her. Let God do it. But some things God is not going to do. He is not gonna take your hands and tie them up and make you not marry whoever you done got out there and got. What you was supposed to do is check with him first before you even dived off up in there. Now, you can easily go to the Word of God. Proverbs will tell you what type of woman is a good woman. Book of Proverbs, Proverbs 31, and you can keep on going down, keep on reading it. It just describes what a true woman of God looks like. And I'm going to tell you, ladies, you might meet him in a club or at a concert or somewhere like that. But every good man, he may not be going to church or, heavy into it like that. He may not be. But he definitely wants a woman who is. Because you know what? I'm telling y'all, women set the tones for her family. The woman does. We set the tone. And however you want your home to be, you have to make it that way. Same thing for marriage. Don't rush it. If you are not married yet and you in your 30s and 40s and 50s and 60s, it doesn't matter. Because remember Abraham and Sarah? Sarah was 90-something years old and Abraham was well over 100. But she still had Isaac. Okay? And they're not the only couples who were older and, still kicking. God got you. And he got the right person for you. But maybe you're not getting married yet because it's some more work that we as females need to do within ourselves. Because a lot of our problem is we are looking to these men that we marry to totally fulfill us. And can't nobody do that but God. All of this love and all of this, God is the ultimate love. Now, he did create these husbands and all of that to love us and honor us and respect us. And you always make sure that that's what's coming your way. Because any other type of abuse, God ain't said that. He ain't never told you to sit there and let somebody hit you and talk to you crazy and take your money and take your car and all. That's not love. That's not love. And you need to hop right on up out of that real quick. That's not love. When God gives you somebody, that's exactly what they're going to do. Now, don't start telling God to change this person you don't went out here and got because you went and got them. Now, if God sent them to you, he gonna work that. He gonna work it out. But if you go get it and it's been 3 years and he still ain't this, 3, 4, 5 years and he's still this and he's still that. Okay, girl, at some point, you can't keep blaming him. What about you? Maybe you need help. Because you know what? It's like God cannot allow the person who is meant for you to come into your life while you still running around here trying to hold on to something that's been gone. Let it go. Excuse me. Let it go so that you can get to who God got for you. He got somebody. He got somebody for everybody. But you won't get to it if you keep running around here out of desperation because everybody got a date. Everybody got a man. Everybody got this. Yeah, but that don't mean they're happy. That don't mean they're happy. People can paint a whole picture. Be up here all on Instagram, Facebook, they all booed up, and then turn them pictures over. Get your hands off of me. Don't touch me. You know why we did that. Even Christmas. All of these pictures, whole families, all of this stuff. That's not the way that things really are for some of them. And I'm almost willing to bet you they did that stuff for visual images, what they want people to think their lives are like. Everybody married ain't happy. They're not. And so what it is that they went, they didn't vet, they liked what they saw, they liked where they worked, they liked what they drove, and they went right on for it. Didn't vet them, didn't check them out, didn't do anything. Now, you got a whole booger bear. Yeah, I said it. Booger bear. And now you like, what in the world did I do to myself? You didn't vet. You didn't vet. I say, it's crazy in the first place to be asking, why won't he marry me? Probably because he don't need to. That ain't for you. That's why. It's not really rejection. It's really protection. That's why he ain't marrying you. Baby, he ain't the one for you. The one for you, you won't be asking this question. He gonna be asking you the real question. Will you marry me? That's the question that should be asked. Not, why won't he? He won't, because he probably shouldn't. He is more than likely not the right one, sweetheart. That's why. And God trying to save you, save your heart. You done been through enough. You done been through enough. Everybody always, you too good. You're always helping them. You're always being there. You that one that can call and you're always there. But then you are the ones that they seem to, that's God, baby. He protecting you. He don't want that for you. And you shouldn't either. So what Miss Wanda is going to say, instead of you worrying about why he won't marry you, how about you worry about when I get myself together, whole, complete, not needing nothing from nobody. And I ain't talking about in that sense. I'm meaning I don't need a man to tell me, you know, I'm cute. You need to know you're cute. I don't need a man to tell me how my body look. It's my body. I already know. I don't need him to tell me, I like that car you driving. I know. I bought it. I paid the note for it. You don't need all of that. Stop always sniggling and grinning the first time a man say something nice to you. Say it to yourself. Then you won't be so taken, so smitten the first time somebody say something to you. There you go. Then a month later or 2 or 3 weeks later, he ain't even calling. He ain't even texting. Probably blocked you. Thirsty. Stop being thirsty. You're not thirsty. Who is for you? You won't have to run behind them. You won't have to be texting them and calling them and trying to figure out if they for real, do he really like me? When you got to go to asking yourself all of those questions, he ain't the one. Because the one that's for you, he gonna be telling you all of that. Not just telling you, showing you. Listen, this is something I used to tell my daughters. Believe none of what you hear on the dating scene and all of what you see. You know what that means? A dude will tell you anything he think you want to hear in order to get what he wants. Everyone has a motive. Everybody, whether it's good or bad. But dudes, most dudes, that's their motive. And that's just men by nature. But you have to look at is what he's saying adding up with what he's doing. Now, if his words don't match his deeds, he's lying. He's a liar. And if he's lying to you from jump, why would you sign up for more and more and more? You ain't gonna change him, baby. You won't. You won't change him. God is protecting you from this stuff. Wait on God. Get you together. He coming. He coming. Soon as you go ahead and straighten yourself out and really tell yourself the truth, come on up out of denial. We do stuff too. And I'm not saying it's your fault. You ain't got no man. No, you just been hurt. Every time you turn around, a joker trying to play with you, and you sick of it. And you just really want to know, what I mean? Why is it? I'm a good person. I don't hurt nobody. I know how to be a good mate, a good wife, a good mother. Why I can't get married? What I found out is we may think we're ready, but God knows us. So apparently there are a few more things that God needs to work out. It's some kinks. You may not see them, but if you pray, he'll show them to you. Work on that. Next thing you know, you at the gas station. There go your husband. You in the grocery store. You at the bookstore. You anywhere. You at the mailbox. And you like, you know what? It's the funniest thing. You know, we met. I was pumping my gas. Or I was in the line at the grocery store. You don't never know where God is going to show up. And now, you know, a lot of people done told me that they be looking at they absolute worst when they meet their mate. So they already know it's not about how I look. It's not about what I got. It's me. And that's the reason you want to get married. The person is ready to commit themselves to you. 100%. That's when you know I should marry him. Always ask God. Always vet. Always do that. But I really feel like you should never be asking yourself that question. Why won't he marry me? That's why I did this. Because no. No, it's not that. A man finds a wife. He found one. And the Bible told him to get one that was suitable for him. And if he's not asking you, you're not the one that's suitable for him. That's it in a nutshell. Well, I want to thank you all for sticking with me and going through this. If you all have any comments, let me know. And I thank you all again for joining me on the podcast. Hope you enjoyed it. Let me know what you all think. Good night. Bye-bye.